I want to start this week's video lecture by telling you a story. My family and I lived in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia for 7 years. It was a hidden gem on the international school circuit. Good school, great living conditions. We had a wonderful experience for 6 of the 7 years. Many Americans have negative feelings towards the Saudis, the Middle East, and Muslims in general, certainly more so after 9/11. And many Saudis truly dislike Americans in the United States. But in my time there, I discovered a number of things about the Saudi people that surprised me. Both of our children were born there. There was a large bookstore, think Barnes & Nobles, that had a large English language fiction as well as children's books. They also had an indoor play space. One afternoon, I took my children, who were 4 and 2 at the time, to the bookstore. They went to the children's section, and I went to the fiction section. After about 10 minutes, an older Saudi man in a white thobe walks up to me, holding the hands of my children. He says to me, "Are these your children?" My first thought was, oh no, what did they do wrong? But he goes on and says, "Can I give them some candy?" I say yes, and he walks back to the children's section with them. They reminded him of his grandchildren. Now you think, how could I let them go off by themselves in a large bookstore? But Saudi is very safe in regards to day-to-day crime. Children of all types are cherished and loved. My children were actually safer in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, than they would be in Boston, or even Manchester or Concord. In the Arab culture, family is everything. Many extended families live close to each other, and the children are at the center of their family. A few thoughts from last week, and a look ahead at this week. We have a diverse class. The ages of the students range from mid-20s to mid-50s. While many of you work in New Hampshire, we have people living in New Jersey, North Carolina, Massachusetts, and overseas. Some of you work in K-12 education, some of you work at the university level. Some of you are parents, some of you are not. And all of you have had very different life experiences. The diversity of perspectives will make the course much richer. I was very impressed with your writing and the resources you found. The resources are very powerful. Take the time to view as many as you can. Regarding your posting and responses, do not be afraid to respectfully challenge each other. It's great to be supportive and agree, but true discourse comes from different ideas. It should be a healthy debate. In regard to the guiding questions for each week's reading, they're meant to activate your thoughts. You're not required to answer them in writing, although you can include the concepts in your chapter summaries. Here are the guiding questions for week 3. Does our culture impact how we interpret nonverbal communication? When you observe a person behaving in a rude manner, is your first thought that they are a rude person or a person who's having a bad day? Why are first impressions so important? This week, there are 2 application questions. You only need to answer one, and remember to respond to at least one of your classmates' answers. Early next week, I'll be sending out your scores from the first week's application questions so you can see how you're doing. Your problem statements are due next Saturday. You may create one on your own or use one of the hypothetical situations from the syllabus. Write me if you want feedback or if you have any questions about them. The other written assignment this week is a protocol or activity called One Sentence, One Phrase, One Word. In this protocol, you pick a sentence, a phrase, and a word in the reading or the video that you find most important or relevant. For example, in Chapter 2, my sentence would be, "Our current moods often influence our interpretations of the motives behind people's behavior." My phrase would be, "Feelings influence thoughts." And my word would be, "affect." Once you have a sentence and a phrase and a word, the next thing is to pick one of those 3 and explain why it is relevant or important to you. So I chose feelings influence thoughts. This is relevant because it reminds us that we need to pay attention to our students' feelings. If they are sad or angry, whether they're 8, 16, or 22 years old, their thoughts are going to be about what they are sad about or angry. They will not be able to learn until those feelings are resolved. A last thought. Professor once told me, that graduate education is about what you put into it. It's not about getting a prescribed curriculum. It's not about getting a set of facts to memorize. It's about having experiences and putting yourself in those experiences. So a class like ours, you can go through and complete the assignments and then get the grade, and that's fine. Or you can make it personal. Attach it to what you do. Attach it to the experiences you have. The problem statement really is about pushing yourself to solve a dilemma. And by the end of the course, you may actually not solve the dilemma. You may get some new insights into it, and your classmates may help you with that. But it's really about investing yourself in the process. This is not a passive experience. So I encourage you, as your time allows and you're living busy lives, balancing your work and your family in this course, is when you're present, invest yourself in the course. Really make it personal. Don't be afraid to share some personal feelings with the class. Don't be afraid to challenge other people's opinions or thoughts. The more you put into it, the more you'll get out of it.